Oh, what a bummer. Sorry guys, give me a second. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. Tripped my breaker. My laser is running some design on some leather while I'm working in here, and as soon as my air compressor kicked on, it threw my breaker. All right. Just a second, I hear something going. Cool. All right, hopefully my breaker doesn't kick on again. Or kick off. That was weird. That usually doesn't happen. Apparently it didn't like how much power it was pulling. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, we're working on a 1911 slide. We're just adding the flare cuts. Appreciate it, Lemon. Frederick, engraving takes away material and reduces cooling properties. I don't know if you've heard of fluted barrels, my guy. All right, let's see. Keep going. Frederick also means risk of deformation. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but people have been engraving for centuries. And unless you're running this like a comp gun, I don't foresee anything like that happening. Saint, or yeah, ST. Oh man, it is actually super easy. That's one of the things that has happened, and sometimes you'll see it here. As far as like I'll be engraving, and sometimes you'll see me slip, and hopefully, usually it's not bad, but it has happened. So, ominous slug, man. I just watching YouTube, man. I love art, and I think this is one of the oldest art form. Where I'm saying that it's not the oldest art form out there, but it's been around for centuries. You know, engraving, just different types of metal work. You know, since people have been making weapons and stuff, and I thought it was a great way to make art that'll last a long time, hopefully. People will cherish throughout time. See. All right, guys, we're gonna bring it from here because we've got this engraving. Jesus, can you engrave on rings? Yeah, actually, so that's what I tell people. Like, if not everybody's a fan of pew pews out there, and that's totally fine. This art form can really be um, implemented into a lot of canvases. This is the canvas I enjoy doing it on, but there are a ton of expert jewelers out there that are amazing at engravings. If you guys look up Jeff Park, he loves doing Rolexes, and I'm not a big fan of Rolexes. Like really expensive watches, but his I would 100% take on. People do it on swords. People do it on cars. It's just an art form to kind of express yourself, and I think it's a pretty cool art out there. And again, this is a flare cut. This isn't every engraving out there. This is just one of the styles that I really enjoy. Changing my settings a little bit. I'm gonna slug. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see, we'll keep another leaf right here. All right, so with this, guys, this design, obviously, flare cuts, we've got the flare cut I really like is because it's meant to be pretty bright and just, it's supposed to reflect a lot of the light, and that's what I really like about the flare cut. Again, guys, this right here was laser cut, so this is 3D laser cut as far as these engravings go. But all of the flare cuts, those are by hand. Hopefully one day when I'm good enough to sculpt, I'll do it by hand, just not quite good enough. If you do this by hand sculpting, it looks amazing, honestly. So, Granoso, thank you, man. I appreciate it for the sub. Roy's Timber Art, man. Hey, dude, I completely commend wood art, like carving art, man. I try to actually have an unfinished project outside my shop right now, carving wood. It was supposed to be a grizzly bear, and I just never got to finishing it. But I love watching wood carving and sculpting and stuff. It's an amazing art form as well. All right, let's see if we can create. Okay, we've got good, awesome. Roy's Timber Art, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but it is satisfying as far as cutting into some of this stuff. All right, guys, let me look at this. I gotta look at our tip on the graver. I think we're getting a little dull, maybe. One of the ways they say to test it is if it digs into your nail, it's still sharp enough. So we're still sharp enough right there. Jesus, I mean, it just depends on who's doing your engraving. I know plenty of engravers that go deep engraving with rings. And it just kind of depends on the engraver and their style. So kind of like a tattoo artist, certain tattoo artists have styles that they're really good at, and they're going to stick to that style. And some engravers feel really good about deep engravings. With rings, the biggest issue you run into with deep engravings is that it takes up a lot of space sometimes, so you can't be as detailed. So they have to be, I guess, bigger scrolls, or it has to be like a bigger ring to really make it pop and still work correctly. That's probably the biggest thing. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna go. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, I've got some custom leather flip flops going, and so I'm trying to get those done for a buddy. All right, let's see. So we've got this portion pretty much done. We still might add some stuff, but before we get too far and deep into this side, I would like to finish this side to try to match it as best as possible symmetrically. So let's see. Let's get an idea of what we're looking at, guys. So, all right. So we've got here, here. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 5, 6. Probably out of 7. Back here. Okay. All right. Looks good. Thanks again, Jesus. Thank you. If you're just tuning in, guys, and haven't subscribed, I do appreciate a subscription. We are pretty close to hitting, hopefully, one of these days, the monetization hour amount. Been debating on kind of where to take this channel, and I'm thinking, I'd love to be able to get people started on this art form and help people get started. Not sure if there's any interest. Obviously, if there is, please comment. If not, not a big deal. But maybe offering tutorials and private lessons would be awesome to be able to do, and some content that goes into some of the more nitty-gritty stuff when it comes to this art form. But some of the boring stuff that people don't like watching, like sharpening these tips, can be a bit of a hassle. That's a skill in and of its own. Any of you guys that sharpen knives, you will know sharpening is not as easy as some people make it think. Or make it look, I guess you could say. Lawn craw. How do I fix it if I mess up? If I mess up bad enough, you just don't. I mean, hopefully you don't mess up bad enough and you feel confident enough to do it. Have I messed up bad enough? Yeah, and it's just a defect. I mean, uh, it's a hard one. Sometimes people can see it, sometimes you can't. And that's just, I guess, part of the art form, you know. And hopefully you don't mess up bad enough that it's noticeable. Sometimes if you mess up like tiny little errors, buffing, sanding, things like that can help reduce the error. I'm not gonna say I promise you one of these days. If you guys are watching me long enough, you guys will see me screw up. Cherry, it is 1911 slide, Colt 38 Super slide. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a flare kit, guys. So one of the things that, you know, I try to teach, and you might see me screw up on this one, is if you're doing hand engraving, don't leave your fingers above here. You want it below the work. So should I actually slip, I'm not jabbing into my finger. This is razor sharp. That's why you can cut into metal with it. So have I hurt myself? Yeah, I actually, like right in here, or right here actually, I took an entire bit once, basically engraving my wife's wedding ring. Took it right into the thumb, and it was not a good day. Cherry, thank you. Appreciate it for subscribing. All right, let's see where we're at. Sorry, guys, if I take a little while to respond. I'm under the microscope looking at this, trying to make sure I'm following all the lines correctly. Okay, that takes care of that backbone. Again, guys, if you guys have followed me long enough, you'll know this is your backbone. This is what you build your vine off of, essentially. So when you think of scroll work, the big thing it follows is plants. So basically where it's growing from, so where it starts, it's going to start like right here, and it's going to grow outwards, and that's why it gets smaller. it can go from small to big, I guess, but it looks kind of off, if that makes sense, just depending on what your design and the art form. So think of scroll work as a vine, as a plant. You're growing from a point, and it's growing outwards. And most plants will basically, get smaller or thinner as you grow outwards. Phil, this one is air operated. Actually, it's a pneumatic graver. This is the Lindsay air graver. You guys are welcome to check out Steve Lindsay. He sells some fantastic gravers. He engraved this, obviously. They're nice little engravings right there. But yeah, that's the system I'm using right now. Smeek, awesome, man. Good. Thank you for subscribing. Engraving give you no tactical advantage whatsoever. Another quote from Metal Gear Solid, I guess. Let's see. I'm not a fan of that one, so we're going to go ahead and get in a little bit more. There we go. With the backhand. Phil, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks again, Cherry. All right, sorry about that, guys. Had to take a quick pause, take a phone call, and we are back. Let's see. I'm gonna add an outer portion right there. Smeek, as far as the sharpening method, so I actually have I guess it's what you would call like a lap system, kind of what you use. It's very similar to the system that stone makers use with set angles and a rotating wheel. Is basically the same setup in essence. Is the one that I use and prefer. You will see me hand sharpen with a rotary tool and rotary wheel on here. Usually that just means that there's small defects that have popped up. Nothing that requires a ton of grinding. If it requires a ton of grinding or there's like a big chip in the graver, then I will move over to that lap system. Let's see. It's funny, I'm having to go backwards because the back of the slide, the jig, is hitting my stomach. I'm not super fat by any means, but apparently I'm fat enough. Go. We're on this one. It's 1, so we have 3, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5. Okay. So this is a scratch right here. We're gonna go ahead and start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Okay. We have 6, so we will start from back here just to make sure that we have enough room for all of the leaves to kind of match the other side. Gagan Multani. Sorry, I'm under the microscope. So, as far as the engraver goes, this gives you an idea of kind of like the scale to it. So, pneumatically fed, and again, it's just a tip right here. This goes in here, and there, and then in essence, the foot pedal that's down there, you push it down, and it engages. And it can engage super light. Like right now I'm engaging it, very light hit. And then all the way to even harder. This sets your setting right here. The more you twist it to the right, the harder the hits. Right now it's pretty light as far as this goes. All right. Back to it, guys. So again, we're working on these 2 scrolls, trying to make them fairly even, and then we're gonna build in on here to connect them and make a solid scroll design right there. All right, let's see where we're at right here. This one would be that one. Yeah, we're gonna. Again, this method, guys, is good for not just firearms, but also jewelry, knives, statues. I mean, you name it, you can probably do this style of engraving on it and add some nice accents. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe before you leave. I do appreciate it a ton. I'm gonna create one more right here. We're gonna go from here. Oh, see, that's a screw up right there, guys. Luckily, it's not a super bad screw up, but yeah, that's a screw up. Beautiful. Rick, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Guys, aside from obviously being able to watch, I do try to educate a little bit on this, so I apologize if I get to the questions slowly. With being under the microscope, sometimes it can get kind of hard to look back and forth from the screen to the mic, or the microscope, I mean. Right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. This will be the last leaf, and then we're going to add a small leaf back there. We're going to go pretty far back here. Flare it, flare it, flare it. Start thinning it. Thin, 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 and feeds right into the backbone. Again, now we're going to come in with our backhand cut. Engrave. Now we're flaring it. Now we start thinning it by bringing it straight. And there's one leaf. Now we're going to add just a bulge leaf to kind of show the 3-dimension of it. We start flaring, thin it. And there, and then we're going to do a small backhand flare again. Start to thin it by straightening it out. Now when I say thinning it, guys, so we're flaring one way as we spin, and then as I'm feeding into that backbone, I start to straighten this out, and that allows it to basically feed into the backbone that we've created as far as the scroll goes. So as far as the depth of it, you know, you can't. No matter how hard I push it, at a certain point, the graver's geometry is going to stop me from being able to engrave super deep. Now, this right here looks super deep, but in actuality, I mean, it's not super deep per se. I mean, you're probably looking at maybe 0.5 millimeter deep, maybe. Probably about 0.5 millimeter deep is what I would guess. So, yeah, you just kind of try to find the same under the microscope. You can kind of see your depth, and then you just gauge it that way. All right, we're gonna add one more leaf right back here, guys, to the system. There we go. And I don't like how this fed in, so we're going to kind of fix that. There we go, that's much better. I'm going to add one tiny flare right there. Basically feed in. And then we're going to exaggerate this flare a little bit into it to create the finished leaf. Beautiful. And that finishes that scroll off right there. So now we're done with that scroll. So we are done there. Pretty close to matched, a little bit off, but that's fine. Not a big deal. And we can start to go into this next scroll up here. Cherry, yeah, I hopefully by observing you can kind of learn. As time goes on, you'll definitely be able to pick it up. Rick, so I won't backfill it. I guess we're going to end up bluing this. So this is going to be a blued gun. So we're going to oxidize and blue it, you know. The thing is that this portion will be gold plated to protect it from the bluing. And so when it's all said and done, this should be gold. The Last Supper should be gold, and the engraving will be black, but still have that glint because of the bright cut flare. Okay. Thanks, Cherry. Thank you. Thank you again for the support, guys. If you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We try to have these feeds, live feeds, about once a week or twice a week if I can get in. Hopefully it helps people learn. Continues to help my skill level as well. right, here we go, guys. It's not looking too bad, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're about to hit the hour mark, and usually I call it a day after about an hour, just so I can focus and stay on my game. Sorry, I let my dog in, guys. Go lay down. Go, good boy. All right, go lay down. Lay down. Good boy. Stay. All right. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll start right here. Create 4 leaves. Let's go ahead and get it kind of set out. If you're looking to draw on stuff, I usually suggest getting like a ceramic pencil, or this is a ruby stone right here. Pretty hard, and it's great for drawing and scribing in. So we're going to go ahead and scribe in where we're going to go with this. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. This is the second leaf right here. Again, this is just a light scribe in. Awesome. Okay. We gotta feed it the other way. Get that flare going. Don't worry, Cherry. Yeah, I ended up just getting him off here. I mean, it's just trollers, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. We are on here, and hopefully we're learning a little bit more how to do this, guys. And yeah, sorry. I mean, hand engraving is not fast by any means. There we go. Let's see. I think, yep. All right. So we actually chipped the tip just now. So here we go. So now you guys actually get to see that. I think this is the first. I mean, we've made it pretty far today without having to hand resharpen stuff. So I'm actually happy with the progress we've made. There's a pretty good chip on that front form right now, so if I can't get it out with this polisher, right, looks like there's a bit of a chip. Okay, give me about 2 minutes, guys. I gotta go and sharpen this on that lap that I was talking about. So. All right, we're back, guys. Sorry, that took a little while. Okay, so as you can tell, it's not mirror sharp now. We took it with a 3000 grit, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the hand polish again and try to get any defects out so we can get that mirror shine out of our engravings. Go. And looking at the angle to create, it's called a heel. So the engravers have a heel. We're almost there, guys. Sorry. When I tell you that the blade has to be perfect, it's gotta be perfect, or else the cuts look like dog poo. Awesome. Okay. We're good. We are now, that's a big heel, but we can work with it today. So if you have a big heel like this, it causes heel drag. And heel drag is when you're engraving, basically you're engraving along, the heel back here will drag and create imperfections in your engraving. So okay, back to it we go. Go. Okay. We're gonna go this way now. Ooh, that was, I smacked the I smacked this and it caused it to come up, and was not expecting that. Luckily I didn't catch anything else, so we're still good. All right, let's see. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Awesome, guys. Okay. So we've hit that hour mark, a little past it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. El Barbero, thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to check out the lives, they are posted. Check out some of the shorts. Subscribe if you can. Again, guys, if you are looking at getting into engraving or any art for that matter, I completely support all art forms out there, and I partake in a lot of the other art forms, whether it be graphite, charcoal, oil painting, leather work, metal work, you name it. I'm a big supporter of it. So, keep creating, keep drawing, keep engraving, and until next time, peace.